My Media Prime Television, you're on to your favorite bilingual program, The Brief, dedicated to the review of striking headlines in the papers. On today's edition of the program, the newspapers are focusing on the election of the former captain of the Indomitable Lions of Cameroon, Samuel Eto'o. Samuel Eto'o was elected overwhelmingly over the weekend by delegates, original delegates for FECAFOOT, and he beat incumbent Bomotonguina by 43 to 31 votes. And Eto'o is now the new president of FECAFOOT. We shall tell you how Cameroonians and the world received the news as newspapers have gathered for us this morning. We shall equally tell you about the military that has been accused of giving flimsy excuses when it comes to arson attacks in the northwest and southwest regions of Cameroon. On the editorial column of the Guardian Post newspaper this morning, the paper is focusing on what it terms too much excuses by the military when it comes to arson attacks on some villages as well as quarters in the chief town of the northwest region of Cameroon. Let's find out what the newspaper or the French newspapers have for us this morning with Bomotonguina, Gwladys. Bonjour Gwladys et bon début de la semaine.
Merci à toi Lasha. Bonjour à vous qui nous regardez et bon début de semaine à vous. Effectivement, la presse écrite francophone est remplie de l'élection de la victoire de Samuel Eto'o comme président de la FECAFOOT, ce qui s'est passé le week-end dernier. Alors ce matin, nous allons commencer avec le journal Le Messager qui revient bien sûr sur ces résultats des élections à la FECAFOOT intitulé Le coup de neuf. Comment Samuel Eto'o a été élu président de la FECAFOOT, de la Fédération camerounaise de football. Les détails sont en page 12 et 13 de ce journal. En page 5, le journal parle du pouvoir camerounais sous la critique en ce qui concerne les affrontements dans le Logone et Chari. En page 15, le journal Le Messager parle de la liste des lions indomptables présélectionnés pour la CAN 2021. Nous continuons ce matin avec le journal Le Jour qui parle aussi de la FECAFOOT avec un air de neuf à Tinga. Les détails en page 6 et 7 de ce journal. En page 12, le journal déclare qu'il y a des bleus dans l'équipe des lions indomptables en ce qui concerne la CAN 2021. Nous poursuivons avec le journal L'Intégration qui parle en page 11 de la victoire toujours de Samuel Eto'o à la FECAFOOT. En page 6 et 7, le journal parle de la commission de la CEMAC qui pose la question de savoir pourquoi le budget 2022 n'est pas encore adopté. Nous terminons ce matin avec la voix des jeunes qui parle aussi de la victoire de Samuel Eto'o. Le journal déclare que Eto'o peut, nous y avons cru. Les détails sont en page 4 de ce journal. En page 3, le journal parle du bilan de la session budgétaire de l'Assemblée nationale et du Sénat. C'était tout pour votre revue de presse en langue française ce lundi sur ma Media Prime. Place à la découverte de ces journaux en langue anglaise avec toi, Lasha.
Merci, Bomotonguina, Gwladys. Let's kickstart with the Horizon newspaper. The Horizon this morning is focusing on the victory of a former captain of the Indomitable Lions of Cameroon, Samuel Eto'o. The paper writes in one of its major headlines, Revolution at FECAFOOT, Eto'o sweeps to victory. Drogba and Touré celebrate the victory of Samuel Eto'o. See Executive Committee to implement sweeping reforms by Samuel Eto'o. Only in this edition of the Horizon newspaper. The Horizon is also telling us this morning that Paul Atanganji, Territorial Administration Minister of Cameroon, has urged governors to be hospitable during AFCON 2021. This was during the biannual governors conference which held in Yaoundé recently, and Atanganji equally sounded a note of warning to those who are planning to disrupt AFCON competition come January 2022. More details in this edition of the Horizon newspaper. The Horizon this morning is also telling us that making Bello great again. We are talking about the council or local government area in that part of the country. Mortuary, electricity, water extension are priorities in 2021. and priorities of Bello Council in 2021. More details in this edition of the Horizon newspaper. Let's leave the Horizon. Cameroon Insider is interested in the deadly intercommunal clashes in the far north region of Cameroon. President Paul Biya has dispatched a government response team to that part of the country plagued by the intercommunal conflict in the wake of the deadly violence that erupted in some parts or communities of the far north region of Cameroon. The President of the Republic of Cameroon, His Excellency Paul Biya, has expressed his compassion to the affected families and has sent a humanitarian team to that part of the country to assess the situation of those affected by the intercommunal clashes. And elections of Samuel Eto'o at the presidency of Fecafoot. Samuel Eto'o at Fecafoot writes, Cameroon Insider, the king maker becomes a king, writes Cameroon Insider. The former Indomitable Lions striker scored another important goal in his career as he transitioned from a football player to a football administrator. He recorded a comfortable victory over incumbent Seydou Mbombo-Njoya. That was 43-31 last Saturday to become the new president of the Cameroon Football Federation, Fecafoot. Let's talk about end-of-year feasts and AFCON regional governors to ramp up security surveillance. This was the major instruction handed to the regional chief executives at the close of the second biannual conference, which took place on December 9 and 10 in Yaoundé, chaired, of course, by Territorial Administration Minister Paul Atanganji. Let's take you now to the Post newspaper. The Post is also interested in Samuel Eto'o's victory, win of change as Eto'o elected Fecafoot president. The paper is also telling us this morning how Eto'o's understood and outsmarted Mbombo-Njoya in his game. And equally in the paper, Didier Drogba says Eto'o's election raises hope for African football. You can equally get more details about how Northwest delegate last move took Njoya off the guard, only in this edition of the Post newspaper. We stay with the Post newspaper to talk about this other headline that has to do with Antoinette Conso's case. Lawyers beseech judges to be compassionate, humane during December 15 ruling. The next court ruling, which is scheduled for December 15, and the judges are, the lawyers are urging the judges to be compassionate and humane during the landmark ruling that comes up December 15 in Boya, southwest region of Cameroon. We end with the Guardian Post. The Guardian Post newspaper this morning is focusing on this editorial that has to do with the armed conflict in the northwest and southwest region. The paper writes that military excuses for arson too much. That's what the editorial column of the Guardian Post newspaper has for its readers this morning. And equally in the Guardian Post newspaper, Tarikun Credit Union voted most reliable microfinance institution in Cameroon. That's they recognized as most acclaimed microfinance institution in Cameroon for offering highest interest rate on savings and low interest rate on loans. You can get more details in this edition of the said newspaper. We end with this other headline that has to do with the Guardian Post Dex editor Moa Patrick, who wins Best Print Journalist Award. He won the award that was recently in Limbe, chief town of the south, or chief town of Fako division of the southwest region of Cameroon. And Moa Patri, who is the Dex editor for the Guardian Post newspaper, emerged as print journalist for 2021. That was during the Firebrand journalist was declared a winner of the prestigious prize during the Victoria International Media Merit Award, VIMA 2021 in Limbe. Thank you for watching, televiewers. We are back in the studio to continue with our discussions this morning. And Amadu Tarnteh, who is a human rights defender, is joining us this morning to talk more on some of the issues that the newspapers raised this morning. Good morning, sir, and welcome once again.
Good morning, and thank you once more for giving me this opportunity to be here. Good morning to the telespectators of my media Prime Television.
Okay, Samuel Eto'o is finally the president of Fecafoot, when he was declared. What was your feeling or reaction shortly after he was declared, following what we saw during the elections? So much like there were some skeletons that were hidden in the cupboards. We saw videos he moved around showing, those of the Electoral Commission, that there was some kind of malpractice that had gone behind. Yes.
Well, the victory to me actually was surprising, but very welcoming. As a first thing, that commendation is that it is first of all a youth like other youths, and we have been clamoring for decision-making positions in Cameroon for the youth. It's a good step forward to tell the youth that they should not lose hope. At least there's always hope in the horizon. Despite whatsoever we are going through in this country, the suppression of human rights and whatsoever we have been.
So it means that Eto'o understood the game. Why is it that some other young people in Cameroon cannot understand the kind of game that politicians play? You see what Eto'o was able to do, to break through. Well, the politicians who have taken football hostage in Cameroon. Well,
permit me to say, first of all, here, I don't have any tangible proof to say whether he used whatsoever means he used to do it, but what caught my attention is first of all, a youth. But another thing here is, I think, is that...
But don't you think that he's really qualified? Samuel Eto'o is really qualified.
Somehow he's qualified, but I think it's...
Not somehow.
It is the practice that will tell us, because I don't know if Eto'o can be a good
leader. No, he has been playing football, and so we are talking about
leadership.
Football.
Football is different from leadership. So that's why there's a problem. Football is a different thing from leadership. What I'm saying here is that we are continuously calling on the youth of Cameroonian youth to brave the odds. At least we stop being afraid of over unfounded allegations whatsoever, or being threat or any other thing. But I believe that most Cameroonians are not able or capable to stand or to such position, because sometimes they feel threatened, they feel that their life may be at stake, or other threat from family members telling you not to venture with this thing, venture with that. So it keep giving people, just keep discouraging most Cameroonians that they are not able to stand to some of these things.
Est-ce que vous pensez que le fait que Eto'o ait participé à cette élection et qu'il ait gagné va donner le courage aux jeunes aussi de pouvoir oser?
Oui, c'est ça que moi je disais. Je pense que ça va donner aussi le courage aux jeunes. En tant que jeune aussi là, c'est pour ça, parce que même si c'était que moi j'avais peur des choses aussi Cameroun, ou bien les choses qu'on entend, les choses qu'on entend par ici, par là.
Mais qu'on ne peut pas faire ceci si on ne fait pas ceci.
Oui, même en tant que jeune, moi je ne pouvais même pas être en train de faire ce que je fais ici, parce qu'on a déjà tout entendu. Donc quand tu es là, tu connais que tu veux faire un combat pour le bien de votre pays, le bien social de pays, il ne faut pas te lâcher. No, you have to do it with all odds, no matter whatsoever trade we are going to. Once you know that you are taking the right path and you are fighting for the interest of the entire Cameroonians, you have no reason to be afraid.
Okay, so it was a real lion. He's still proven to be the real lion.
Indeed, he's a real lion. So
but many people have taken to social media to say that Eto'o's victory, we should not start celebrating Eto'o's victory, because the system that Eto'o is getting into is a very dangerous and rough system. That Eto'o might not be able to survive in that system.
I think the system is what is you are saying is very personal, and I think that can be the case.
Nothing will change. Eto'o will not change anything.
We have a lot of things surrounding his victory. First of all, if there are a lot of problems in Fecafoot, that's why even the Minister of Labour and Social Security, when I made a publication some 2 days back, well, I think it was yesterday, saying that with Cameroon, they should do everything possible to make sure that football should be played on the field and not in the court. You know that our Fecafoot has a lot of court battle on daily basis. Even Abdurrahman, who is the one
we know Eto'o with his international connects. Do you think that they will be able to ask Martin?
Whether you're international connect or whatsoever, the thing is that the law, it is the law that has a final say. It is the court that has a final say on everything. It doesn't matter whether you have...
No, but Eto'o is illegitimate. He was elected during due process. Yeah, you think somebody will contest his victory?
This is not the first time somebody is elected at the Fecafoot
those were during normalization committee.
No, the same happened with the other person.
You have Joseph Owona. No, we are not talking about. No, we are not talking about Joseph Owona and the rest. This is an election that was organized
and clearly organized.
Eto'o won. We are not talking about normalization or whatever, interim or whatever. No, we are talking about an election that was organized. Who is going to contest what? If they are contesting, what are they contesting?
No, I think
because the process was fair, clear, clean.
No, I don't think I'm not talking about contesting the election that took place.
No, contesting the presidency of
the election that took place was, in fact, it was for null and void. As per the task, I think we have a different court judgment has come to prove that, and we are still expecting something. I heard something that Rahman is trying to, as usual. You know, that man is very powerful with regard to the law, so he knows the law.
So what has he been doing ever since he's been going to task?
He's the one that made the Fekafu election. Even the man, the Bomotonguina to his candidate. He was elected last time, and so the election was annulled because of the past election was annulled.